Alright, I'm just gonna explain how you can start creating bebop licks just by knowing triads. For example, if you have C major, you have that, right? It's just like the notes of C major. You can go to the piano and play those C, E, E, G. What you can think about is like, okay, I have one note here, G, it's from my triad, and I want to go to E. So how can I dance a dance to get to the other note? So you can basically just slide into one note, and already that feels a little bit more musical than just going like that, right? Depends on the context, but it feels a little bit more musical, more expression there. And like, what about this note? Right? So how about playing like a long and short, right? Right? Or maybe start short and then long. Okay, that's interesting. Well, that's starting to feel a little bit more musical. Well, what if I can maybe approach that note with like a nice effect, like maybe this. Okay, that's very lyrical, right? So let me show you this one. Basically, you have an enclosure. You're surrounding that note with a bunch of other notes. And you're doing this effect of see? And only then you're playing the target tone, the note. So now you have this. And that's like, is that a triad? Well, basically, no, but you can see it around a triad, and then all these more sophisticated bebop stuff won't be too overwhelming because you're basing the musical language on a very fundamental thing, like just like a triad, 3 notes. So I think that's super helpful, and I did see many students transform their playing just by doing a lot of that. Until you just get it into a flow, it's just become part of your language. You're not really thinking about a triad anymore, you're just thinking about the language, but it's a great place to start. Okay, so what about the other notes here, like this root here? Let's play that too. So I played it, and then I wanted to go to the next note here, G, right? Because we have G again in the arpeggio. It's just like the notes of C major, G, E, C, G. So instead of just playing that, right, I approached it with a scale tone, like A goes into G, and then instead of it sounding like it's sounding, now it will sound like this, right? Now, all of the work is just making it sound cool by being aware of how you want to play it, like the articulation, your sound, your technique, your intention, your rhythm. So that will be just repeating that until it feels kind of good. How about playing that slow? Right? Okay, so you see, that's how you start doing those. Now, if you're looking forward to expand your playing further, how about knowing how to invert chords so you don't need to always start your phrases from the same chord tones and kind of like have the same bias for the same target tones? Well, invert. First inversion of C, right? How about approaching that with the same enclosure we had to the third here? Let's try that. Right? Same idea we had here, but now to the root. Same thing. And then I want to go from my root to my 5. So I'm just gonna play a scale. And then a chromatic note. Now I have this. And then I want to approach the third, so I'm gonna play F, which is a note from the scale, and then I'm gonna play 2 notes into my target tone. So this kind of material is just a really good place to start experimenting with. And my purpose with this lesson is just to give you an extra push to remember that even the sophisticated language starts from a very simple place. Experiment with the things you already know and take care of the fundamentals. What I do on my website, weissguitar.com, is I show all the fundamentals while always showing you how they connect and also how you can always implement language into those. So complete etudes, over chord changes, step-by-step system that you can study on my website, from triads, arpeggios, all the way to different voicings, what I call jazz essentials, fundamentals, core elements, and all the way to more advanced stuff like language and etudes over different tunes. So you can check that in the link in the description below, and hopefully that was helpful, and I'll see you in the next lesson.